today I have a hair dryer to show you. This thing looks like a Dyson, and I spent £40.99 on Amazon UK. And the reason why I buy this is because it looks a lot like a well-known brand Dyson. Now, I'm not just a guy who like to buy things because you may make another product, but I actually got a Dyson, and the real deal. Now this thing, I had it for almost a year now, and it's a present for my wife, and she loves it. And there are a few good reasons why this thing is so expensive. But today's video is about a much cheaper version of a hair dryer. Now I need a hair dryer in this studio here, so obviously it's my workshop, but I also use it to make photo shoots and stuff like that. So I need a hair dryer which we can use on site, and I'm not going to spend another £300 on another Dyson, no matter how good it is, because I'm just going to use it for, let's say, once a month, or once every other week. So here we have a cheaper version of that. So just for a laugh, I'm going to make a video out of it and show you guys what you can get for a £40.99 in the UK. Now, for £40.99 you can buy quite a good hair dryer. Even the well-known brand like Remington and Without Sassoon and all those hair dryer, you can probably get a very good one. The good thing about buying from Amazon is if I don't like it, I just return it, and usually there's no question asked. So let's get on with it. Let's see what is inside. From looking at the packaging, there is no doubt about what this hair dryer want to look like. So the Ionic, like a short cylinder with the straight handle, looks exactly like a Dyson. Now even the attachment showing on the picture looks exactly like the Dyson as well. And it say here, professional hair dryer, lighter, hotter, quieter. Well, at least they got the spelling right. Sometimes products from China, they do have like very bad spelling check, or they just don't bother. So let's open it and have a look. Now straight away you can tell that this is not a £300 product, because the presentation of the product is just not really good. So you have like parts which is like bubble wrap, whereas Dyson is like plastic molded. Every part of the parcel have their own space, and if it is as a gift, when people open the box, it's very important about presentation. Now we keep the box, actually we keep box for everything that we buy in the house, for resale value, and also for just the sake of keeping the boxes. Now we have space in the house, so we don't mind that. So that's why we kept the box for Dyson. We had this for about a year now, and to be fair, we only use like one attachment out of the whole box. We never really need to use a big diffuser, because both my wife and my daughter, they don't really have a lot of big volume hair or curls that they need to use it. But the hair dryer itself is fantastic. So let's get on with this. So here's the hair dryer, and they definitely try to copy the design. So you got buttons on the back, where the Dyson button is made of metal, and this one is made of plastic. The motor itself looks like it's in the housing on the top here, like a conventional hair dryer, whereas the Dyson, the motor, I believe, is actually down here. It sucks the air from the handle with a kind of a handy filter here. Really dusty because it's in use every day. So the air gets sucked through the filter here, and then gets sent to the top here, and then is actually magnified by the design. So the amount of air coming through is actually a lot more than what the motor pushed through the actual hair dryer. Whereas this one, the handle played no part in terms of the air delivery, apart from the switches, and the motor is actually sitting in this housing here. And one of the reasons why Dyson designed the air delivery system like that is because it actually generates a lot less noise
So will be interested to do a noise comparison between the two in a minute. Now, one thing I like about this hair dryer is that they use a very thick cable. Now, I have used a lot of hair dryers in my time, and I always remember the hair dryer cable is a very thin piece of wire, and sometimes when you use it like over a long period of time, you can actually feel the wire being heated up, because at the end of the day it's a high current device where a lot of electrical currents is actually going through. So I like to see that, you know, a very thick, nice and thick cable, just like how the Dyson use. And the Dyson is the first hair dryer that I have seen with a thick cable, so well done to that. 3-pin UK plug. Attachment wise, we've got one attachment here which kind of focus the air into a beam, a slightly wider one. I honestly don't know why they even bothered, to be honest with you. Does it really make that much difference? For those experts out there who use hairdryer, leave a comment below. But I just don't see how that half a centimeter size is going to make that much of a difference. But anyway, so there's two attachments there. There's also a heat diffuser. I think that's what they call. So this is for drying your big curls and your big hair. So instead of the heat being concentrated in one beam and heat up the hair too much, this one actually diffuses it. It's very good for drying hair quickly without damaging your hair. So again, similar, I would say very similar design, but you can tell that Dyson actually have like a dust filter built in, and they actually supposed to ionize the air, so less static going to your hair. This one, there is no such thing. Basically, it's like a shower head. All you see is just a plastic and hose. So the air goes through here and then hopefully evenly distributed, and a lot of like stream of hot air coming out from all the little creases and nozzles. So when the hair is actually in here, it kind of diffuses the heat out, I guess. Now to attach the attachments, all you need to do is just match the spacing and just give it a little twist, and it kind of locks on. The thing is that there's no marking on the thing, so once you put it in, you twist it. I guess you just twist until it matches again, it comes out. So it will be a better idea if you have some kind of marking on it. But so far, it's alright. It's not, if I receive this as a present, I will say, wow, maybe it's a Dyson, but once you find out that it's not a Dyson, you might get a bit disappointed. Okay, so let's plug it in and have a play. Okay, so let me have a look at the instruction, because I can't make sense of this just by looking at this. It doesn't say what is heat, what is not, so it's not a big deal. I mean, there is information leaflets, but I would like a bit more intuitive design, so you know, like, you know, how to control like temperature and stuff like that. So on the Dyson, you got on and off. You got the blast of cool air, so when you press this, it overrides, there's no heat coming out. You can also like control how hot it is by using the button on top. They all have like the red button, blue button, so you can kind of figure out what to do with this. But for this, you got the fan logo, so I guess it's fan only, low heat, high heat. The button at the back doesn't show anything, so I guess this will be a master override in terms of heating, I guess. But let's just have a look, because I don't like to just going blind into testing products. So number one, cool shot button. So I guess this will be the cool air blast. Okay, so I'm going to edit this out video with a bit of noise reduction on this part of the video, because sometimes it's just too noisy for the video. But I will make sure that we leave some sound on so you can hear what kind of noise it makes. So this one must be fan only. This one is low heat, and this one is a high heat. Low heat, high heat. Okay, now I don't think there's heat control. I think the heat come out just the same on the level 1 and level 2. But what it does different is how fast the motor coming out. Obviously, if you have the same heating element, if there's more air coming out, it won't be as hot. But I think that's what it is. Okay, and now 2 shots. So I kind of figured it out now. So if the button is off on this direction, so there's no heating at all, and then when you return the button to the top, then the heating starts again. Now, one of the things that I always find about a hairdryer is maintenance. You can't expect to use a hairdryer forever without cleaning it, because it sucks out a lot of air through the motor. And over time, the dust can build up. It affects the performance, or worse, it can catch fire. So how do you clean this thing? Do not put in the water. I think that is quite common sense. Cleaning the filter, right? Remove the cover as indicated in the picture, and clean the ventilating filter using a damp cloth. So it doesn't say where the filter is, but a logic dictate will be from the back. And all right, so a filter like this, I don't know if you can see this here. Is it? Let me try to get out of the picture so you can focus. The holes are so big that, you know, ants can get through. Maybe even a small fly can get through. How is it going to trap dust? It might stop hair from getting through, but it's very important, because if you have really long hair and a design like this, the hair can literally get stuck into the motor, and you get one of those crazy moments that, you know, it just stuck to your head. But what I'm trying to say is that the dust is just going to go through and end up building up inside the motor here. So it's not really a design that can last for some time. Back to the Dyson. I haven't cleaned this for over a couple of months now, but there should be no dust on the motor or the control itself, because all the dust will be on the handlebar here. So all you do is wipe it off. I'm going to hoover this up off the desk in a minute, but that's all you do. That's how you clean the Dyson. And you can see the filter is almost like a finer mesh than your shaver foil. So it picks up a lot of dust. Just imagine all this getting through those big holes into the motor, and sometimes that's why you smell burning smell from using a hairdryer. So guys, if you don't clean your hairdryer, you should. Okay, so nothing technical about this review, just to show you what a cuppies look like. For £40.99 you get a Dyson looking hairdryer. And for men out there, I don't suggest buying this to fool your wife or girlfriend or missus, because you can't. This is not a Dyson. It looks like a Dyson, but it's not a Dyson. Okay, so maybe let's test out the noise of the machine. So let me get the app up and running, and let's see how noisy they are. Okay guys, so as I mentioned, one of the selling points for Dyson is how quiet the hairdryer compared to your normal household hair dryer, and I do recognize it for using it for the last year or so. So now I have my app running here, which measure noise level. At the moment, you say here mosquito or quiet library, and about 50 decibel when I speak. Now let's try turn on one of the hair dryer, and for this non-scientific standard experiment, I'm just going to hold it kind of like one or 2 feet from the phone. So air outlet is this side, sucking air from the back. So I'm going to turn it on to maximum and just compare the noise level. Okay, so if I don't say anything, it's on 25 decibel. So let's turn it on to the max. Okay, Okay, so it picks up around 69 to 70 decibel. And now we try the Dyson. Again, we turn it to the max level, about a foot or feet from the phone. Okay, so the loudest record is average about 61, so it's about 9 decibel quieter than the £40.99 professional hair dryer. Now, you might think that the 10 decibel is not a lot, but as I recall, remember, I might be wrong, you can correct me in the comment section, but decibel is progressive, so every 1 decibel going up, the sound level is actually kind of like as a curve. So you can't just think that it's only 10 decibel, because every increasing decibel means a lot louder. But there's another thing that I recognized just now. So let's just do this experiment again. So let's try this one and turn it to the maximum. Okay, and then let's try this one. I don't know if viewers like you guys realize what happened, because my camera do have some kind of image stabilizing. So even if it kind of like move, it kind of the computer will get rid of all the movement. But it's very clear to me when I'm doing this, because when I use a cheap hair dryer and turn on to the maximum facing the camera didn't move. So when I use this one and turn it on to maximum, it's clearly doing something to the camera. So in terms of like delivering volume, ideally you have like one of the air sensor thing to see how much air coming out. But to be honest with you, I don't have that equipment. I'm not born to test this kind of product. But just as a user experience just now, the Dyson is powerful enough to blow the camera, kind of not blow it away, but at least like sway it around by, we're about like, I don't know, 3 feet away from the camera. So this one definitely pushing the camera, and I actually have to consciously move it back so it doesn't shake the camera. But with this one, even on maximum power, when it close to the camera, it kind of doesn't do much. Now, it might be not because of the weak motor or anything like that. It's just the way the Dyson have delivered developed this kind of technology where when the air comes out, it's almost like an air cannon. The air kind of like magnified that comes out. So even though not so much air delivery, but the delivery of the velocity of the air over distance is actually a lot stronger on the Dyson. There's another reason why you pay like over £300 for this. Okay, so overall, I do think this is not a bad hair dryer, but I think the money that they spent on trying to copy a Dyson, I think they can spend that money on a better filter maybe, and also better packaging, and maybe just have one of these funky diffuser thing rather than 2, because I just don't really see what's the purpose of having 2 of them. And the other thing is, if you want it sideways, this is as far as you go. Any more or less, I think it just come right off. So thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And my next video probably is going to be Dyson against a cheap bagless vacuum cleaner. Yes, so my next video is going to be another comparison between a cheap product and a expensive product. So if you like my video, please subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell button so you don't miss any of my videos. So thank you, and